Kevin Sorbo, the actor who played Hercules back in the day, has had his Facebook page banned. You can guess which side of the political aisle Mr. Sorbo is on. If you guessed liberal and insane, you'd be incorrect. Guess what? He's a Christian conservative. And he was questioning patterns regarding the election and questioning some of the COVID narrative. Of course, that's why Facebook banned him. Anything that goes against the leftist orthodoxy is being pummeled right now. And when they take down Parler, when the powers that be take down Parler for allowing free speech, it is because they want control. And they are drowning, literally, the voices countering them. And the challenge is that these voices don't disappear. They find means of distribution. And I think that America and the world is far better off if they are on platforms that engage with each other, where you can find alternate viewpoints. And this is once again an excuse to kick people off of social media. There was a progressive professor, Bret Weinstein, who had underwent essentially being expelled from Evergreen College because he refused on the day of absence, which was formerly black students and faculty staying home for the day, to demonstrate their importance. They asked everybody else to stay home. Bret Weinstein says, no, you can't tell me not that I have to do that. That is not something. And of course, they came after him. The leftists accused him of being a horrible racist when he was anything but. Just to give you the background on him, he is actually a very progressive, intelligent individual. And he found not only his Unity project, Unity 2020 project, which he founded in an effort to combine conservative and liberal forces, true liberals, not these leftists, but people that want the best but think a little bit differently, that he wanted to combine them to take on the establishment politicians. He found that, booted off of Twitter, he never had it reinstated, and I'm going to tell you that this man is very ethical, that there is nothing that he did, but because he was taking on the neoliberal establishment as well as the conservative one, they booted that from Twitter. No explanation. To this day, it remains banned. His Facebook page also went down, and he had claimed that he wasn't using it. So it's not only conservatives, it's anybody with a heterodox view from the liberal talking points that gets too large and has some influence on others. And this might not even be coming from the top of Mark Zuckerberg, but those underneath him, those who allow their political narrative to provide the operating procedure by which they judge somebody. And I'm just saying that this is incredibly bad for America overall, because you are seeing a gigantic fracturing. And it's not that people that were just outside of the center can come together and argue and pull each other towards each other's point of view. Now you are fomenting a split right down the middle, and this chasm just grows and grows every time you do this. You are drowning out the voices of reason. You are drowning out the conservative voices, leaving leftists in an echo chamber. And I don't know how this is going to go well for the United States and the world, because Facebook and the algorithm are giving us exactly what we want to hear in an effort to keep us more and more engaged on the platform. So we are just listening in an echo chamber. And then even if we look for Kevin Sorbo's page on Facebook, if we look for Bret Weinstein's Unity 2020 project on Twitter, and all the other numerous examples that you can think of, that I could think of, they're no longer present because they've been kicked off for false reasons. Now they're going after Fox News. Congress, the leftists in Congress, are trying to get Fox News off the air so that they own the means of distribution of information. And this is just another example of it. It portends very negative future for our country. Again, it's not a clash of ideas in the middle where you're never going to catch the people on the very far right. You're never going to catch the people on the very far left and move them at all to the center, because they get great utility out of holding the positions. They get the group identity. They get the group approval. And so it's much harder to pull such people in towards the center. But when you fracture the center, when you relieve one side of the scale of the weight that it might have in the form of Kevin Sorbo or the form of Bret Weinstein, who is a progressive for God's sakes, just with heterodox views, then the scales just flip. And then our country comes apart at the middle. It's like tearing at the seams of something, and it just tears apart. And that is what is going on intentionally because they want to own the means of distribution of information. The left does what is going on with our country today. And again, going forward, unless this stops, it will have very negative effects. Now, you can point to Kevin Sorbo or anybody else as one individual example, but all those individual examples are dots on the piece of paper that start to form a picture. And if you look at it, most of it goes one way. It goes, they are relieving the right-hand side of the ledger of the weight that it might have. And so the scales are tipping. And Bret Weinstein, who's on the left, of course, as I keep stating, had heterodox opinions. And he's banned. Just something for you guys to chew on. Let me know what you think in the comments. Peace and blessings, everybody. Have a great day.